Hello, guys, gals, non binary pals. Thank you for joining us for another episode of GSC's Girl Pod. It's me, Candy. Hello. And I am joined by the wonderful Brit. How you doing today, Brit?
I'm here. It's been a minute since I've been on Girl Pod.
I mean,
I've been
it's been a minute since we recorded outside of the very last episode. We had a good backlog for a while.
yeah. I got sick. I was on vocal rest and wasn't allowed to do much of anything. So, well, I was allowed to do things. I just couldn't do things with my voice, which seems to be the extent of what I do on the internet. So,
It's like you can't yap, can't stream, can't just be like, let me tell the story of this family in The Sims.
Yeah. Well, I also take voice lessons, like singing lessons. I was out of there for like 3 weeks, so it was that bad. And you could kind of hear it still, but we're back. I can't not much longer. So
Go a little like stir crazy.
I was like only talking to my husband and my kiddo, and I was just like, I'm an introvert, but not that much of an introvert. So we back. Hopefully it doesn't ruin anything, but I hoping we're on the upswing. So
I mean, I feel like it sounds like you're on the upswing. I feel like you don't
yeah,
sound like super, super hoarse, super like, it
I'm like
doesn't sound
Phoebe
super
Buffay
froggy.
vocal fry,
I can see
like
that. Yeah.
the smelly cat where she was. If you don't know the episode, she gets sick. She gets a cold, and so she has like this vocal fry, like I don't know how to explain it. Just like indie voice singing like smelly cat, and she loses it, so she keeps trying to get sick. It's a good episode. If you haven't never watched Friends before, don't start with that episode. But
or two.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but
yeah, do you?
um, uh, but yeah. So hopefully we're on the upswing. Didn't mean that I wasn't playing video games. It just meant I wasn't playing multiplayer video games, which I'm sad because there's a lot of good things out and coming out, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we have to see if you get the same bounce back on Overwatch that V has had, because on Saturday I was playing some other stuff Saturday, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna boot up Overwatch, and V was like, do I have to boot up Overwatch so that we can play together? I was like, you don't have to, because I was checking out what the competitive scene is like on a Saturday night. I was just curious. All right, I
Yeah.
was like, let me see
Yeah.
how it goes. Also, because I don't believe the rank that it gave me for last season, because I was like, there's no way I should be gold 4. Absolutely not. I should not be anywhere near gold. But
Mm.
apparently I won one game and lost 2. But V boots up Overwatch and she's playing, and suddenly, and Steve, if he is listening to this, will be the witness. There was laughter, there was joy. V was enjoying Overwatch. I was like, this is so different. I was like, this is very different than the challenge. She's like, she's like, I got to play the game. I feel like I know what I'm doing now. She was playing Torbjorn a lot. She's like, I feel like I'm getting it. And I was like, oh, is this the?
I'm surprised she didn't switch to that hog person to like I don't know if it was included in Overwatch, but we played, what was it, the hog?
Oh, that was included. Yep, the 12 hogs, 1 hole is there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 12 hogs, 1 hole. I thought she would have switched to that character.
I think because she was playing as DPS, so you can't switch because he's technically a tank. But she found her vibe with the little dwarven man, as she called him, because she said she is also a little dwarven man. But it was
It's a
so
vibe,
funny.
definitely.
It was just so funny. I was like, wait, what's happening? Hold on. This is very different.
I just slipped into more and more DBD. It's
Fair.
It's 2v8 time again.
It is 2v8. It is.
And then we got a new chapter, mid-chapter?
Mid-chapter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a new chapter. And the skins are cool. It's Attack on Titan.
I see. I don't really care about the Attack on Titan skins because I don't really care about Attack on Titan. I know
Mhm,
for some anime fans that's blasphemous. Um,
mhm.
but the ones with Darkest Dungeon,
They're very, very cool.
very cool. I ended up buying the Rift Pass. I actually have
I
to
did
play a
too.
little bit more because I really want this Zarina Plague Doctor skin. I don't even play Zarina like that,
I don't
but
play
that Plague
Zarina either,
Doctor
but I
skin,
want it.
I was like, yo,
Yes.
this
Yes.
looks so good.
I want that skin. I want the nurse skin, which I've already seen the nurse skin be played, and it's later in the rift, so I'm like, people are already playing this
People
much.
be grinding.
I know. And I was like, have you seen the new nurse skin
Mm-hmm.
yet?
Yeah.
Have you heard the nurse skin?
No.
Okay, so
I
it's
just
got
saw
new voice
pictures.
sounds. It's got new
Mm.
voice sounds, and it's very creepy sounding.
Okay. Okay.
It's like if a crow had laryngitis.
Interesting. All right.
It's very creepy. Um, Jane got a new skin. Jane has a skin in the riff that I really, really want. I'm not a Jane main, but she's in my rotation. So,
fair. So
and the
what I'm
attack on
hearing is we're gonna record this episode and then boot up TBD.
probably, probably. Um, the Attack on Titan skins, I'm surprised they doubled up on a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like Fung and Elodie, who I'm an Elodie main. They got the same skin. Michaela and Hattie got the same skin.
Mm.
And then a couple others I don't know offhand got the same skin for Attack on
Interesting.
Titan. So
I guess there's only so many different ways you can do some of the Attack on Titan skins.
yeah, I get it. They were just kind of just. I feel like the Elodie skin isn't anything that I haven't seen before.
Fair. I think
It's
that's
always
fair.
like it's always like a moto jacket with some tight pants and some like leather straps
Mm-hmm.
and a scarf, which is
Yeah,
Elodie's MO.
it is, and
Which
I think that
there was something different.
that is a lot of Attack on Titan though, because it's like the sort of motorcycle looking jacket. There are characters that have the scarf, like the pants and the
Mhm.
straps, and I understand why. I've seen a little bit of Attack on Titan, and then I was just like, I don't care enough, because they are like zipping through the sky as they're fighting down Titan. So I understand where they would have all
Mhm.
like the straps and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it makes sense. Um,
Mhm.
and then otherwise you have like the Titan skins, the
Yeah.
just flesh.
I did buy it. Don't get me wrong. I did buy it. Because she looks phenomenal in it. But I just want to see I guess
Different
because it
ones.
is just it's probably just because it is Attack on Titan. I feel like Elodie doesn't get enough love in her costumes. Like
Mm,
Fung, Kate, Michaela, now Sable. They all get like these really cool outfits.
hmm
And then my mains like Jane, Hattie, Elodie don't
Don't
really
get as much.
don't get as much. Yeah.
That's fair.
So it's just whatever. But I'm hoping with upcoming we've got an anniversary chapter to look forward to in the next few
Mhm.
months. That's
10
something good
years.
comes out. Yes. So I'm hoping that there is a lot that comes out with it. Because how do you celebrate 10 years and not do
Something big.
a lot? Yeah, something big. So I'd like to see what that big is.
Yeah. I am curious.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what they do.
Mm.
Yeah.
We totally skipped over it, but what are you drinking?
I have two drinks in front of me. One is a drink that I've actually had most of this morning, so I'll finish it quick. We are recording this on a Monday, so everybody knows, which is why I do not have an alcoholic drink in front of me. It is not that we don't normally go this far with time stamping, but it is Monday at 11:45 in the morning. So when we recorded the last episode, it was earlier, but it was a Saturday, so I had a drink. Your girl's got to be back at work tomorrow, so no alcohol. But I went to Dunkin' this morning, and while the banana is gone,
It's
I
gone?
It is gone. At least by me, it was gone. The app did not allow me to order it. So
Ass.
I got their marshmallow cloud Dunka latte.
Ooh. The Dunka latte is already really good.
So
Was it like that banana foam on top almost, but
it's marshmallow cold foam now. Yeah. So marshmallow flavored cold foam, shot of espresso. The milk is the coffee milk. So that's the one that they have currently. Then the other one they had, I obviously haven't had it yet. Maybe I'll try it later this week. Is a marshmallow rocky road. And it had like hazelnut flavoring, the marshmallow foam. But I went with the Dunka latte to give it a shot. The cold foam was very good. You can't see it anymore because it's gone because I've had this for a little bit. The coffee milk is really good. Really, really solid drink. And then as a backup, I just have a Diet Dr. Pepper. So nothing too exciting. What are you drinking?
I learned to make the Dunka latte at home because I loved
Ooh.
it so much. But also they use full fat milk, and hot girl tummy problems do not allow me to have full fat milk all that time.
Yep.
So I made an oat milk version of it. It's really easy to make. It's called Autocrat coffee milk. Like it's like a Autocrat. It's basically like coffee syrup.
Okay.
And you put it in your milk, make that coffee milk, and then add that coffee milk to your espresso coffee, whatever. I will say to make it very much like the Dunka latte, because the Dunka latte is sweet, I do add a little bit of vanilla coffee syrup.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it's not that hard to make at home. It's actually cheaper to make at home.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all
It's
know
always
like
cheaper,
$7 drinks. So
I know.
I'm drinking a iced London Fog latte in my cup. It is 2 shots of espresso. And then I took lavender and I put it in it's like a coffee foamer, but I can steam milk in it.
Okay.
And so I put not fresh, they're dried lavender petals in with my oat milk and let it steep. And then I poured it in here, add a little bit of vanilla syrup, and yeah. So yeah. It's very good. I was really used to the London Fog teas.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone was like, try it with espresso. And I was like, I don't know if I can do
Like coffee and lavender.
Yeah, at first I was like, but it's actually really good. Definitely recommend it. I bought a huge thing of like lavender petals from someone, and I've been steeping to make my own lavender milk for a little bit. And you just have to make sure you have a strainer. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
See,
and
you
trying
don't get
to get into the floral.
Oh, yeah.
So
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
See, you don't get these really cool recipes on our sibling show, the news podcast. I'm just saying.
No, you don't.
You should
We
still
could have a
follow
whole
them and
bar.
listen.
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't get
I'm
the
gonna have a
recipes.
bar. We're gonna do
You
like
should.
we're gonna like fade to like me at a bar, making drinks, drink of the day. And then we'll go
Yeah.
back to the podcast.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for Brit's book of recipes coming out 2027.
The Girl Pod drinks.
Yeah.
You have to come up with a fun name for the book.
I know. We have time to workshop.
Yeah, we do.
We got time.
Mhm.
We'll come up with some cheeky name and then all the different recipes of things.
Yeah.
I'll try to think
Yeah.
of some drink recipes.
We'll do like pairings, like a coffee, non-alcoholic drink, and then you and V can like choose a alcoholic drink to go with it. So it's like a AM PM type of thing.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Mine in the morning, y'all's at night. Yeah, should do that.
I like that. That'd be fun.
I like that idea.
I haven't bartended in a long time, but I could get those skills back.
I could see it.
You don't
Just a couple
forget those
minutes with a
things.
muddler and a shaker cup. You got it.
I do have a shaker cup. Um, I went to a concert 2 years ago. We went to see Walk the Moon. I went with a friend of mine. Um,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, I'll get there. I think it was like an alcoholic strawberry lemonade. It wasn't really anything that would require like a shaker cup. But the
Hmm.
way they served it was in like a honest to God shaker, and you drink it through like the top of the shaker bit. And I was just like, I'm keeping this. I was like, I'm keeping this and I'm bringing it home. This is cool. Like,
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
feel like
hello?
it's like the hurricane glasses, like if you go to what is it? Planet Holly, whatever the Hollywood,
Yeah,
whatever
Planet Hollywood's
those.
one of them.
Yeah. They give you like a fruity whatever drink in one of their hurricane cups with the on the side, and I'm like, you're coming home with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want you souvenir. I've only been to one, and it was in Orlando.
Oh, the one
Uh,
like outside of Disney? Or I
yeah,
guess it's not outside Disney. I guess it is Disney. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it's not one of those places that you're like, hey, it's Thursday. Let's go get wings at Planet
No.
Hollywood.
God, no. That is definitely a like a
Tourist.
novelty and touristy place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that one, and then it's the rock and roll. I forget what the official name is, but there's like Planet Hollywood for movies, and then
Hmm.
there's oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of the name. They have one in Times Square, Hard Rock Cafe.
Yes. Maybe that's what I'm. Okay.
Because it's movies, music.
I've been to one of each.
Yeah.
There's a Hard Rock. There's a Hard Rock in Niagara Falls. I don't know if it's still
Mm-hmm.
open. Hard Rock in Niagara Falls that I've been. And then the Planet Hollywood in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Both very similar in the vibes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because they're like shrines to their theme.
Yeah.
The music one,
Hmm.
the movie one. We need one for video games.
You're so freaking smart.
Like I think that's what we need. One for video games where, it is a little bit of like video game museum, right? Where you
Hmm.
can see the things, or I know some of them are like replicas at some of these places, like, or the replicas, right? So you can see the different consoles that have come out through the years, right?
Hmm.
Oh my God, sorry. Now, this was not anything that we were going to talk about, and we will get to fantasy guests, but now that my mind is just like
No.
in this
So
moment, like you can
there is.
theme it by decade, theme it by like the decade or the console type, right? Like the Nintendo
Mhm.
section, this section, like oh my God, you could go nuts with this.
I don't know if they were everywhere, but there used to be like a restaurant called Time Machine. Something Time Machine. Let me see if I can find it. It was a place.
Trying to think. I know of.
The Magic Time Machine.
Okay.
Okay. The one I know of is in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And each time you go, you can get a different room.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like like each time you like go, it's like a different vibe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Think about like that with video games.
Yeah, like I know of a lot of different like I don't know of one that's corporate in the same way that like a Planet Hollywood and Rock and Roll Cafe is, right? And that's where I think it's missing, right? Like, I mean, movies obviously big industry, music big industry, video games big industry. Like I feel like this is where you could create something like this, right? And have the theme spaces. I mean, and think of, Japan does some of these sorts of things where they have like pop-up cafes for different like anime and video games and all this other stuff. Like you could do that and just make it a permanent place, right, that people could go to, and you change up your recipes every once in a while for maybe a new game or new whatever, and you could have themed nights if you wanted to have themed nights, right? The themed sections. You can have video games on display, right? And like I know Planet Hollywood does like scenes of different movies and things like that. Rock and Roll or Hard Rock Cafe does different music videos. Could you imagine sitting like at this video game restaurant and you're watching like live games done quick, right? You're watching some of the best speed
Mhm.
runs, right? Maybe
Yeah.
occasionally you're showing some of the best like the best cutscenes from games, right? Like I could see it being all of these sorts of things, right? The best of some of these fighting tournaments. Like you could have these things on display. You could have a little section that's maybe like a little arcade section, right? Where people could go
Mhm.
and play, especially while they're waiting for a table, right? Or the little bar area that'll feel sort of like a, because the closest thing you have is like a Dave and Buster's, but that's not quite the same,
Yeah.
right? But like one that's really a restaurant museum display. I
So,
want this.
okay. So, we've both talked about like how we're both from New York. I'm more uh North New York.
Mm-hmm.
You're more south. There is Rochester, New York.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a museum called Museum of Play. Now it is targeted mostly towards children under a certain
Mm-hmm.
age. Just they have like a whole Wegmans in there for kids, a carousel, a train, like just a whole bunch of really cool things in there. But they are home to the video game museum,
Mm-hmm.
which I have walked through multiple times. Super cool, the way they do things. I'm hoping to go back soon. But they do have a bunch of games you can play on giant screens.
Yeah.
And they have a bunch of arcade versions of some of these games that we've played on our PC. Unpacking is one of
Mm-hmm.
them,
Mm-hmm.
which was a huge game for me when it came out. Um, the replayability is so it's one of those games you just melt into where you don't play
Mm-hmm.
like the same way every time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but within walking distance, I believe it's within walking distance, there's a place called Nerdvana.
Mm.
Every single item on their list is named after a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Stardew Salad, Sonic Boom Salad.
Yeah.
You've got Shades of Alchemy and just super cool just names after a bunch of things. And then they have a whole board game menu where you can play board games while eating. And I feel like that's the closest
Mm-hmm.
right now as to what you
Yeah.
have to go to two different places, of
To
course,
do that. Mm-hmm.
to do that. But I feel like that's the closest.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like just if you were to smush those together, and obviously you wouldn't put them, in not that Rochester is the middle of nowhere because it's not.
Mhm,
It has a very big school and it has big vibrant community.
mhm.
So it's not the middle of nowhere, but I say it's not the middle of nowhere as someone who lives in New York and is married to someone who went to the University of Rochester, right?
Yeah.
For somebody, in the Midwest, it's probably like, well, what the hell is Rochester, New York? But if you had, and not that I necessarily want it to be a corporation because they're cold hearted and everything, but they would probably
Mhm,
be the ones who have the funds to do something like this, right?
mhm.
If you were to put something like that together and open it in maybe the big cities first, right? Like maybe not Manhattan, New York City, right? And not Midtown, but you know, Brooklyn, right? Where it's city,
It
but
gives
it's
Chicago
cheaper.
vibes. It
Chicago,
gives
yeah.
Chicago vibes.
Like
It
if you
definitely
had
gives a Chicago vibe.
those spots, right?
Those
3 or 4
very
spots.
Mhm. It screams more of like a Denver,
Mm-hmm.
a Chicago, a very Austin. These are
Oh
like
my
the
God,
3
Austin,
places that
yes.
I I'm not this is not I'm not saying this is offensive, like in an offensive term. Hipstery.
Well,
Very
that's why I
like
thought Brooklyn. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
not
Yeah, Brooklyn
Manhattan,
I could see. Yeah.
right?
I just feel like Brooklyn is the place that most people are like, "Do I really wanna travel to Brooklyn to go
If you're hipstery
there?"
enough. Yep.
Yeah, I
I've
get it.
been I've been
Yeah.
to Barcade in Brooklyn and I'm like,
Yeah.
Brooklyn's far. And yet I'm like, oh wait, it's an arcade that has all these video games that
Mhm.
are 25 cents a pop to play them and
Mhm.
have drinks. Like, but you know, and again, it's a bar, right? So it's like
Mhm.
you can only go if you're 21 and over, which, you know,
Yeah.
is fine for the bar vibes, but it doesn't have
Mhm.
that museum aspect. It just has here's all these
Yeah.
really cool games that you can play. And they started with one and they have expanded throughout New York City. I think they
Mhm.
have 3 or 4 now, and there's other sorts of things like that, but again, not the museum aspect of it,
Yeah.
right?
Which
Get that
I that's
combo.
why I feel like that Rochester has
Mhm.
that. Then you have to do some driving. They do have a giant board game store called Millennium Games. That is probably one of the biggest board game stores I've ever seen. They also have Capshawn. They have you know, they have card games like Pokemon and all that stuff, and uh I think we spent 3 hours there once, like
Makes sense. Yeah.
just walking around, looking at dice, looking at,
Mhm.
uh all the things. So if you're near Rochester, that's I think that's the closest you're gonna get to what our dream is. You know what?
Mhm.
We just need a distant relative to
With lots
die
of
and
money.
give us with a whole bunch of money,
Mhm.
and then we'll just start our own.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think, and I know there's like, because I know that Japan, I don't know if it's opened yet. There's like the Nintendo museum that's going to open in Japan, right? But that is
Mhm.
very specifically just Nintendo. Like
And Nintendo.
I would want to see a place that is hitting the gamut of everything, right? Like obviously
Mhm.
Nintendo has the most history, started as a trading card company, you know, they've been around hundreds of years, fine. Um, but I
Mhm.
would want it to have more than that because I wouldn't want to discredit, you know, the Sony, the Microsoft Xbox, right? Sega
Mhm.
Genesis, right? Atari, like all of these things that have led to this place, and for some people are going to be nostalgic, and for some people, like if you could create this sort of museum atmosphere while also, you know, being able to enjoy dinner or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, think about the people who maybe grew up playing Atari or Sega Genesis, and now they don't really have a way to share it with another generation. And it's like, oh, there's this place that we can do this at. Because yes, there's emulation of games and all that, but it's not quite the same as seeing it
Mhm.
in, you know, in the flesh, or being able to touch it in the flesh and to do all that. So that's why I think that would be really cool. Because even when I go to the Nintendo store in Rockefeller Center in New York City, right, there's almost always people surrounded around the case of like historic Nintendo consoles, right?
Mhm.
And it's always people saying, "Oh, this was my first console," right? And this is even a meme online where it's like, "Tell me what your first console was," right? So there is an interest in this conversation.
Mhm.
So if you could manage to get those pieces and put it, you know, on display for people,
Mhm.
and theme a menu in such a way, and you
Yeah.
know, I think that'd be so much fun.
Yeah. And in one place too, like, I feel like the fact that you have to drive to each of these locations
Mm-hmm.
to which, if that's your goal, you're
That's
not gonna
fine,
really
yeah.
mind to do that. But at the same time, we have a movie, we have a music, video games are just as much of an
Mm-hmm.
imprint on us as those 2 other
Yes.
things.
Yes. That's the thing. I think those are like you'd almost have the trifecta of the big entertainment like
Mhm.
spheres that make all this money, right?
Yeah.
That you could do some
Mhm.
really cool interactive bits with, you know, and then I could see, you know, like down the line, you know, then hosting like the big events there, right? Like you could
Yeah.
create spaces where it's like games done quick is going to do something here, right? Or,
Mhm.
these fighting tournaments are doing something at some of these places, right? Oh,
Mhm.
you have a fighting tournament that is coming up, but you need a place that maybe you're hosting like qualifiers and stuff. Like that right there is like a great way to be like, we're going to have the
Yeah.
qualifying event here, right? We're going to host the event here. People are going to come and be able to come and watch it just as spectators, and people will
Mhm.
be able to be the people who are like playing and qualifying, and like just create a bit of a community there, but also just advertise this to people that maybe are like interested but don't really know what it takes or don't know where to go. Because even now I know that there's qualifiers that happen for all different sorts of games, but it's like you have to really search, like, where is this happening? Is this a convenient place?
Mhm.
Is this right?
Mhm.
Or it's at a convention and you have to pay the convention like entry fee. And like,
Yep.
let's face it, some of these conventions are expensive. Um,
Yes.
so I feel like you could have a lot of fun with it though.
Yeah. Side of it would be glass, and, at night, it would turn into Atari.
Mm-hmm.
Atari or, is that the one where it's the stacking bricks? I don't remember the name offhand. Where, like, is it Atari? Where the bricks pile?
Well, I know there was like the GameCube that it went around. I mean, you could
It's
do
not
all
Atari.
different
It's
sorts of
not Atari.
things.
Yeah.
Atari has like not the swoosh, but the like,
Y yeah, it's
yeah.
not Atari. It's not. Why is my brain farting? We talked about earlier. It's where you're piling the bricks on top of each other and they're
Tetris.
different colors. Tetris. Yes, that is what I'm thinking of. Like, it's just glass bricks, and, like, at night,
You just see them fall.
you just see them fall on the side of the glass building. It'd
Tetris.
be so freaking cool.
Uh, Tetris is such a good and yet a hard game, and now I feel triggered by Tetris. When I was at PAX East, I was doing a Creator Cup competition,
Mhm.
um, and they put me against a retro streamer, and we were playing Tetris, and I was like, I have no chance.
Yeah.
I was like, I have no chance now. It's like, what am I representing? I'm representing VTubers, and now I'm here going against a retro streamer for Tetris. The grid, it was like a tournament style. So the first person I went
Yeah.
against, I beat them. But then when I had to go against retro dude, I was like, damn, kicked my ass. But it's fine. I won one, lost one. It also meant being out of the competition, but I tried. I did my best. But damn,
It should be like
like
a what you call it field.
Tetris is hard. Tetris Tetris is hard when you're going against someone who like really knows what to anticipate and how to
Yes.
like really perfectly stack and all the like all the and they're not even tricks, they're just like good tactics that I was just like must make blocks disappear. Like, must not hit top and must make
Uh,
blocks disappear. I'm like, I don't know how to get a very high score very quickly because it was timed. So it was like whoever had the highest score within
mm,
5 minutes. And I was like, I don't know how the
uh,
scores go down. I'm just making sure there's no things at the bottom. It's fine.
make blocks disappear.
Make blocks disappear. It's fine. It's fine. You know who may have maybe grown up playing Tetris though?
Our fantasy guest.
Yeah. Tell us about your fantasy guest.
All right. Today, as of recording, it is May the 4th, which you guys should know that by now that Candy and I are huge Star Wars nerds. Um, so, when I panicked and didn't know because it was my Candy said, "It's your fantasy class." I'm like, "Oh shit, fuck." I was like, "Okay, let's find someone that is in the Star Wars realm, but also in the video game realm." So my fantasy guest is Steve Bloom, who is the voice of Zeb in Rebels, which if you haven't watched Rebels yet, what are you doing with your life? Rebels is one of the top Star Wars shows. Yes, it is cartoons,
It's fine.
but I feel like as the series goes on, it tailors it more to adults.
Yes.
But it is one of my favorite series. And now it is oozing into Ahsoka, it's oozing into Mando, as we saw in the last season.
Mm-hmm.
It's oozing into just a bunch of things. And we saw Zeb in the last season of Mando,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yes. Now that Mando and Ahsoka are both out, like they kind of overlap, and Boba Fett, and they kind of all overlap, and it kind of makes me confused.
I'm not gonna
Um,
lie, I really wish they wouldn't have called it Ahsoka and would have just made it like live action Rebels.
yeah, because it really was.
It was just a continuation of Rebels.
It was like live action Rebels. What is it? Clone Wars,
Yeah.
kind of.
It was like this is not
Yeah,
like Ahsoka specific.
yeah. Which Ahsoka is actually my favorite Star Wars character, so it was like what they did to Boba Fett with
That's
Mando.
that's fair. I'm
So,
glad they can't ruin
uh,
Andor.
me too.
I'm like, you can't ruin this. We know where this ends. You can't ruin this.
It ends here. So Steve Bloom does the voice of Zeb, but he also does the voices of some things that sure, if you play video games, that you have heard before. Steve Bloom does the voice of the English dub of Cowboy Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
He in the TV series of Wolverine and X-Men, he plays Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
He's in High on Life 2, which I haven't played High on Life 1, so I couldn't tell you.
I know a lot of people enjoyed it though.
Yeah. He plays Tank in Black Ops 7.
Mm-hmm.
He was the table in Date Everything,
Yep.
which is very different. I love Abel. Abel is a pure soul, and it is very different than anything I've seen Steve play before. He usually plays like the gruffy,
Mm-hmm.
rough and tumble type of character. So seeing him play Abel was really good.
I mean, yeah, he's gonna be
Um,
Wolverine
yeah.
in the upcoming Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. He's played Wolverine a lot because he's
Mhm.
also played Wolverine in Marvel Rivals,
Yeah.
in Midnight Suns.
Mhm.
So he definitely has done the gruffy
Yeah.
voice. He's done Sub-Zero. You know, when you
Mhm.
look at like the casting or what he's been cast in, you know,
Yeah.
for a lot of these games, it very much is that. But maybe that's what made Abel really fun for him.
Yeah. I think they did that to a lot of the people who played Date Everything, is they gave them characters that were not, except for, like Brennan Lee Mulligan and Matt Mercer, they played very much themselves. But a lot of them a lot of people played different than they normally are.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really, really cool to hear. Just I can't think of words today, and my brain is just how different people can be multifaceted
Mm-hmm.
in their voices, in
No,
their
it
repertoire, and
really,
things like that,
yeah, it really gives the opportunity, like
to stretch.
to do that. Yeah.
hmm So, and he's been in a lot. He's been in a lot. So, um, he was in Last of Us Part 2, Saints Row,
Oh yeah.
the third. Yeah, he's been in a lot. He's very Star Wars centered, but I guess now that he plays Wolverine in a lot of things, he's kind of X-Men too.
He's got his
So,
like these are the characters,
yeah,
like you know,
yep. hmm But
which makes
I feel
sense.
like I feel like a lot of voice actors, once they find their niche, they kind of just stick into it. But I guess he has a voice acting studio where he teaches other voice actors to, yeah, voice act, which is pretty cool. I did get to see him in person in 2023, 24.
Okay.
Saw him at Chicago Comic Con. He was there with the rest of the Rebels. So, to see him go from animated Zeb specifically, to go
Mm-hmm.
from animated to CGI, I guess, is what he is in
Yeah,
Mando.
yeah, I guess it is. Well, I mean, he's credited as he's credited as the actor for it. So, you know,
Maybe he's
he
got the crazy.
the tracking and everything
Yeah.
on him.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even looking like
Yeah.
he's credited for the movie or for the upcoming movie as well as Zeb. Um, so, it looks like he probably is doing that, and maybe there's some makeup and some touch ups or whatever.
Mhm.
One day when we get the behind the scenes, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot he was Mugen in Samurai Champloo. God, Samurai Champloo was so strong until it wasn't. God, that was such a good show until it. Oh, sorry. I
Yeah.
have so many thoughts on that anime.
I'm very, 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 very excited um for the movie. Of course, because it's got Pedro in it, but Mando and Grogu, I've already bought tickets. Um, we had to buy tickets. It's got some new people that I'm excited to see in it. Sojourner Weaver's in it,
Yeah.
so
I'm
that
just
could
looking at
be.
this, and it looks like in 2012, he was awarded a Guinness World Record for being the most prolific video game voice actor, having 261 credited appearances as of May 10th, 2012. So that was in 2012. It is now 14 years later, almost to the day, just a few days off. So I'd be curious, like, who has that record? Does, and he's still doing voice acting, so it's not like he stopped. Is he working towards, like, if he's lost it, is he working towards reclaiming that record? Has he maintained that record? How long has he maintained that record? I think that would be, like, really interesting to be like, what is that like to one day just get this Guinness World Record,
Yeah,
and be like, hey,
like
here's this.
if you saw his IMBD, you'd be like, what the?
Like, do you sleep?
'Cause yeah. But we have to remember that in the time of voice acting, we've come into an age where everything could kind of be done at home.
Mm-hmm. If you have the right studio space, yeah. And I think when that is your career, when that's your bread and butter, I think you do build the space for it. Yeah,
Oh
assuming that
yeah.
you can, right?
Yes.
Obviously.
I feel like a lot of these, like, and I see even people who do books, like just are voice actors for books,
Mm-hmm.
have their own little space in their house. And there's times where I'm like, I have a really good microphone. I have a really good space. Like, and the only reason that you don't hear the things that are going on in my house is because of very, very good filters.
Mm-hmm.
About like 2 minutes ago that you heard my husband fall up the stairs. I was trying not to laugh when he was here, but he
fine.
came up the stairs from his office and he goes, "Kaplunk." And I'm like, trying not to laugh. But I feel like in this day, in 2026, not that just anyone can be a voice actor, but voice actors have the means of working from home.
Mm-hmm.
That the quality of things from home, you don't just have to go into a studio anymore
Yes.
to be able to do things. So, I just think, yeah. I think Steve's really cool. I like Zeb. Zeb's one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
In Rebels. So, the fact that he's getting to do X-Men and stuff like that too is cool. I am not a superhero girly.
Fair.
I don't like superhero anything. Like when people are like, "Have you watched this movie?" and I'm like, "I don't watch Marvel. I'm sorry."
How rude. God, how
It's-
could you even
it's
call
just
yourself a nerd? I'm kidding.
It's just
Listen,
not my.
there is such
It's
a
not.
fatigue of it. So
Yeah, it's not my. It's not my. What would we say? Vein of nerdism.
unacceptable. That's it. We're ending this
Sorry.
podcast right now.
Sorry. Uh, I apologize.
No, it's fine. I mean, I think because I grew up on like reading comics,
Mhm.
and a lot of the comics were obviously very superhero centered because that's what like my dad would read and then he would pass them to me. So like that is something that I grew up on and is still something that I'm very fond of. But at the same time, definitely some fatigue with some of these movies. Definitely just seeing the same stories over and over, but then also being uh up, I hate to say upset at audiences, um, but somewhat annoyed by audiences where anything that doesn't like force feed you the information, it's almost like they don't want to see, right? And things that are
Mhm.
tackling maybe more important topics in a different way. People are like,
Mhm.
this sucks. And look, if you don't like it, that's fine. But like when Thunderbolts came out last summer, we saw it. I really enjoyed it, right? But I also
Mhm.
really enjoyed it because while it was a superhero movie, it was a
Mhm.
superhero movie that was also tackling things like depression and how that
Yeah.
can taint someone and how that also taints somebody with powers, right? Um, and so much of it was like acceptance and overcoming that. And the real, to me, watching it, the real power of everything was not the superpower that this guy had, but it was this internal power that all of us had, that all of us have, right?
Mhm.
To overcome these dark emotions and overcome, this emptiness and find ways to overcome that, whether that is by relying on other people and realizing that you don't have to go through it alone, right? By being open with other people, by finding that support system, right? So
Mhm.
yes, it's a superhero movie and these are superheroes, right? And
Mhm.
this super powered villain, right? And I even hate to call him a villain because of the
Yeah.
context of everything else. And I was like, this was such a good movie because it is more than just, bam, pow, kazooie, villain is
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
And, and I'm like, this is sort of the evolution that is great to see. And then it didn't do as well. I don't know what else Marvel is going to do with all of it. I'm sure they have a plan. Um,
Mhm.
and then instead now it's like, oh, let's do another, Avengers movie and let's bring back all the same old actors to do the same shit that we've had them do for 11 movies. And I'm like, see, this is where the fatigue sets in because I don't need to see Robert Downey Jr. do this again. I don't need, Chris
Yeah.
Evans coming back in the same way. Like it felt like you put these actors to bed and that was great. And then we were going to move on and maybe tackle some other things. And now we're like, nah,
Mhm.
actually, let's not do that. And I'm like, oh,
Let's just do it again.
yeah,
Let's just do the same thing again.
yeah. I'm like,
And
no,
I
let's not.
I think that's why I will say my dad was a huge Batman fan growing up. He loved like the old Batman with I see his face, hear his name,
Adam
but I
West.
can't say his name. Yes, that's him. Adam West. He was a huge Adam West fan. That Batman
Hmm.
fan. Growing up. So he really liked Batman. But otherwise, he didn't really I didn't grow up on those like he didn't read comics. He
Hmm.
just liked the show.
Fair.
So that's the superhero I grew up on. So I feel like that is the only superhero show or movie I will watch.
That's fair.
So, um,
I mean, I will say, I think the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland have been very good.
mhm.
I am
I
very,
watched the early ones.
I'm very
Yeah.
curious to see what happens in this next one. But again, it looks like we are also, getting some depth with Spider-Man in these
Mhm.
movies because of what happened in the previous movies. So this iteration of Peter Parker that we'll see in this upcoming one, he had to
Mhm.
make very big sacrifices. He is now like alone. He is out there being Spider-Man, right? But he is also grappling with the loneliness of leaving this sort of life behind. And part of what they show in the trailer, so this is not a spoiler, right? Because his powers start to go a
Mhm.
little haywire. Um, and he's like, I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know what's happening to me. Right. And they're like, well, spiders go through this cycle of rebirth, right? And you come out of it stronger on the other side or you fall apart, right? So, and again, I haven't
Mhm.
seen the movie yet, right? But that also could be taken as a metaphor for where Peter Parker, the person, is in his life, right? And I think if you
Mhm.
dive into that, and yes, also have, the quippy Spider-Man and, you know, flying around and blah, blah, blah. I think adding the additional layer is what keeps it interesting and fresh and not just good guy come in, save the day and call it a day, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
but it seems like there's also a lot of audiences that don't even want that. And I'm like, but I want that. I don't want the same thing repeated to me. I don't
Mhm.
want the same dumbed down of stuff, right? Um, so it's just really interesting to see that. And I feel like for a while, movies were not dumbed down this way, and now we're in this era, and not even just movies, like all media. Now we're in this era of dumbing things down, and some places are trying to do things
Yeah.
that are smart-ish again, or
Mhm.
clever, or touch upon something else. I would love to see that, more in things. I think we see that sometimes in some of the sort of MCU TV shows. And we definitely see that,
Yeah.
in some of the Star Wars TV shows, right? Where they dive deeper into those things. Um, and I want
Mhm.
more good content. Not that you can't have dumb content, you can, and it can just be mindless and passive or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but I want more things that are really solid. And I think from, a voice acting perspective, it would be interesting to see, does he feel like on his end media has mimicked this, right? And does that
Mhm.
maybe change the characters that he chooses to play, right? Does that influence how he
Mhm.
plays certain characters, right? Is this mindless and maybe your performance has to come off a little bit more that way? Or,
Mhm.
is it something that you really have to go in and get into a very different mindset for characters because of how
Yeah.
strong the material is around it? I think that would be interesting to see how you approach different types of media in that way.
And I think what you're talking about, like the dumbing down and the basic, is because since 2020, we're in like it's been 6 years since 2020,
Hmm.
and a lot of people thought of those years as a hellscape.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I feel like the dumbing down of media or the simplicity of media was because people were thinking about a billion things a moment, and
Hmm.
to escape into something simple, to escape into
Yeah.
something that was just was a sanctuary for a lot of people.
Hmm.
But I agree in the sense of like being clever, being, not being able to tell the twist at the end of the movie bummed me out in a lot of ways. And it's maybe why I personally stepped away from movies.
Fair.
It's why I would watch The Office over and over and over again and continue to do so. But I think, when we added the I'll say specifically in the like Star Wars universe, Andor,
Hmm.
Mandalorian. Um, I'm not gonna say Book of Boba Fett because Book of Boba Fett deserved better. Um,
100%.
it became Mandalorian 2.0.
It did.
Um,
Hmm.
and Ahsoka, aka Rebels. Um,
Hmm.
Andor specifically, which Andor is basically like a prequel to the movie Rogue One,
Hmm.
if you don't like what Andor is, and it made Rogue One make a lot more sense.
Yes.
And because Rogue
Hmm.
One is my favorite Star Wars movie. Um, and it was finally a TV show that I wasn't, oh yeah, this is just like another money grab. This is just another
Hmm.
like mindless TV show to kind of get us through. No, Andor itself it was just so captivating. And the fact that we only got 2 seasons because of timeline reasons
Mhm.
made me so upset. But it was just such a tasty morsel in the time of just everything being so basic.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I know there's people call it like second monitor content now, right? Andor was not second monitor content. Andor was
Mhm,
sit down, watch the show, put the phone away, like, and I think the other thing too is like Andor showed us there is so much in this universe. And I've been saying this for years, and not just because of Andor, but with a lot of things. There is so much in this universe, and yet we have explored a fraction of it, of the
mhm,
possibility that this universe can have. And this is, look, I love Star Wars. I said this before. I'm pretty sure I've said this before. My dad walked me down the aisle as Darth Vader, and I have a whole Jedi and Sith kit, and I have all these things, and blah blah blah. Right? I love Star Wars. However, I do get Star Wars fatigue because while there's a huge universe to explore, so much of it stays with the Jedi and the Sith and, just the Skywalkers. And I know you've called it the Skywalker saga, and that's fine, right? But then you get something like Andor that shows you how rich this universe is and how much you can explore and how deep you can dive into it, right? And that's it. We don't explore it again in that same way, right? And it's like, and this is my, some of my problem with like the Book of Boba Fett, where it was like, you just did this to capitalize on this character that people enjoy, right? You didn't actually give us a ton of really cool stuff, right? Like, is it
mhm,
cool to see him on the screen like this? Sure. You could have done that as like one episode. It didn't need to be, here's this whole thing that in the grand scheme of things is not really adding to the universe. Whereas I felt like
mm-mm,
Andor really added to the universe because we're seeing the different dynamics of factions at play, right? We're seeing how the rebellion is forming, and we're not focusing on the rebellion, right? Because again, that we've done
mhm,
a lot of that, right? But we're not focused on this, but it is what is happening around Andor that is shaping him that way, right? And we're seeing, the Mon Mothma dealing with, the fallout of things, right? So it's
mhm,
like you're seeing all these pieces, and it's like, wow, you could dive into almost any of this and
mhm,
get more. And I've said this before, I enjoyed the Solo movie for being like space heist movie, yay, right? It wasn't a great
mhm,
movie, but what it did do was also start to talk about the underbelly of, all of these things in the Star Wars universe. And I'm like, show me more of this,
mhm.
right? Show me,
Yeah,
was it
uh,
Crimson Sun or whatever? Like, show me these things. Give me these
yeah.
things.
What was the other movie that just came out? It had Jude Law in it, or the TV show that had
Oh, the
Jude Law in
show.
it.
I didn't watch it. Uh, but yeah, like there's that show. There's the Mall animated show too.
Which is on my list, which my child yelled at me yesterday. "Mommy, you have not watched the Mall show yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." Uh, but the Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
You
Hmm.
you would like the Skeleton Crew because it is a remnants of what Andor did.
Like
It is
we
a
need more of that.
yes, and it added children
Hmm.
into the universe besides Anakin and I guess you would call it Padme.
Yeah. Yeah.
It added children into the universe, and it was just it was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was, you know, it was different than what we've been given in the past.
Hmm.
So, um, I would definitely do that. And I think, in all honesty, the shows that have given us the most, and yes, it's in the Jedi slash Sith universe, are Rebels,
Hmm.
Clone Wars. Clone Wars explained why the the things that went on in between 1, 2, and 3
Hmm.
that we really didn't get. That relationship between Anakin and Ahsoka. And then Bad Batch. I
I
don't
loved
like.
Bad Batch.
Yeah,
Well, let me
my
hold on.
husband loved
Let me
it.
backtrack. I loved season 1 of Bad Batch.
hmm
I did not care as much when it only became about Omega.
Yeah.
But the first season of
Yeah.
Bad Batch, absolute banger. Absolutely.
And the Acolyte deserved more freaking seasons.
See, I didn't watch The Acolyte because I was like, because again, some of it was like, I don't want to see just more like Jedi Sith stuff. Like I was like, I want, because at that point, especially at that point, we had Andor and then we're waiting for, and I was like, I want more of the sort of political intrigue.
Yeah.
Like
I like it.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want just, I could do that. And this sounds silly, but I could do this on my own, right? Like I could take out my red lightsaber. I could do this on my own. And I know that's not, obviously that's me being very facetious, but yeah, I just wanted something that felt smart, gritty, and not just this. And that's not to say that I'm never going to watch it as long as they keep it up. Like I'll check it out at some point. But I wanted something more Andor and less, Jedi Sith.
I think Acolyte was on the right direction. Remember how we talked about Solo being like the underbelly of like crime and stuff? I feel like that was the trajectory of Acolyte, and we just didn't get there in the first season, so it had very low viewership and it got canceled. Because also you have Manny Jacinto in it, and you had what's her name?
I can see her face.
Stenberg, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
They were the show was great. Like they played very great parts, but then
but not enough time.
They didn't have enough time to bloom.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's 6 episodes. I think it's the writer's fault. I'm going to blame the writers for not. You took 6 episodes to do what could have taken 3. And
Pacing will kill a show so quickly.
Yeah.
Like I think, and again, some of this is also why I get mad at audiences, right? And I say audiences, yes, I understand I am part of the audience and sometimes I am to blame, right? Pacing will kill a show, not because we should give it 20 episodes to get good, right? Because that's crazy. And I'm looking at you, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it's like the first half season was like garbage and it took until a certain episode to actually get good and then it kind of fell off again. But, we or people who are writing these things need to come to grips with the reality that many of your audience have a very short attention span, right? You need to prove to them early on that it's worth the investment of their time. You need to get them, when their attention is there, and you have a much shorter amount of time to do that than you may have had 10 years ago, right? Where people might give it half a season before they give up, right? And half a season 10 years ago was like 12 episodes, right? Now half a season sometimes is 3 episodes. And if you can't get people in the first episode or second episode, like you are not going to be able to tell the story that maybe you want to tell. And again, should audiences maybe not be so quick? Sure, right? But we are also in a day and age where there's access to so much content, right? That the people who are creating content need to understand, like you have a very small window of time to grab these people. There has to be a good in-between somewhere. Right? I don't know what that in-between is because I'm not making content to test it out. But if you are being paid buco dollars by Disney to do these things, you should figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
And that goes for, I think that also goes for any sort of media, right? Like I know we're like harping on Star Wars and, movies and TV shows, but that also goes for video games, right? Especially if you're like putting games on PC and that people have a 2-hour window that they can still return things on Steam, right? You better have a
Mhm.
banger first 2 hours. Like you
Yeah.
like yeah, it's just that attention span is small. It is short.
Mhm.
How are you grabbing people? Are you doing it well? Because if not, you're going to miss out and you may not get to tell a great story.
In a world where YouTube Shorts and TikTok reigns, if you don't wrangle people in, mm-mm, you're done. You're done.
I hate it, but it is so true. Like obviously I stream and I've been putting more clips on like YouTube and stuff, like just literally just like, oh, all right, sure, upload it, right? Like Twitch you can export it pretty easily. They make it super, super smooth. Not that it's a huge number, but like I doubled my YouTube subscriber count just with shorts. Like this is the trajectory of media for
Mhm.
people, right? So you have a minute, if you're talking about that sort of content, you have a minute to grab someone, right? If someone is going
Mhm.
to take the time to sit down and watch a show, you have maybe 10, 15 minutes, right? If you're lucky, you have the first full
Yeah.
episode for some people, right? And you have to do something that keeps people engaged and entertained and I'm guilty of it too. You put on a show and you're like, yeah, it's okay and I'll keep watching it, right? But my version of it's okay and I'll keep watching it is I'm looking at it and then, part of the way I'm like looking through my phone, responding to a text message, I'm doing whatever and then I'm
Mhm.
coming back, right? And I may have missed something very cool on the screen. I may have, whatever. Or again, like in the day and age where it is second monitor content, maybe I didn't miss anything. But for the shows and the things that are trying to do things that are clever and smart and witty and cool, you have to grab people very strong. You have to have a vice grip on them in that first 10 minutes.
It's the 45-minute plus shows that lose my interest real
Fair.
quick. If you don't have a 25-minute video or an episode, I'm out. I can't. My attention span is very. I need when I want to binge, I will binge.
Mm-hmm.
But give me a small form of entertainment, 25 minutes, and I can watch two if I want an hour. But just give me a little bit. I need to be entertained so I can move on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have something that like when my husband and I sit down for a show, which between the time our daughter goes to bed and when we like break off and do our own thing, we usually give ourselves an hour. And I don't want to spend that whole hour watching a show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to talk, I want to do things.
Yeah.
And that's really how much attention time I have. And don't yell at me for scheduling an hour with my husband. You need to schedule once you get a certain age.
No, listen, I think you absolutely do. I don't think there is anything weird about that. Again, especially in 2026 when there's a lot of things like getting our attention. Also,
Mhm.
a lot of things to do, right? Like,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
obviously I don't have a kid, so I don't have the, addition of a kid, but it's like you have to, and I think that this is healthy, right? Because I've
Mhm.
seen what happens when you don't do this. I think it is healthy to say this is an hour just for us as a couple every day in the
Mhm.
busyness of everything else that is going
Mhm.
on, where we can
Yeah.
just be a couple. And I think it's healthy that you're like,
Mhm.
in this hour that we can just be a couple. Because that's not to say that that hour can't turn into 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
it's, we know at a minimum, we have this amount of time where we
Mhm.
can be a couple, right? The kid's asleep, right? Because what I end up
Mhm.
seeing so often, and I've seen this with so many friends who have kids, the kids take priority as they should, but then there is no time for the couple to just be a couple. And then when
Mhm.
the kid is more independent, it's like, what do we do? Who are we as
Mhm.
people anymore? And it's like,
Mhm.
that is not healthy. That is not
Mm-mm.
good.
That's what
Yes.
my parent. I'm not gonna lie. That's what my parents turned into.
Yeah. And yes, there is, the first 3, 4 years, your life is probably going to be that way because the kid
Mhm.
really needs you in a very different way, right? Literally, they can't walk, they can't eat, they can't do all those things with it. But then
Yeah.
as the independence grows, right, it almost feels like if there's 100 to give, and the first maybe 3-4 years you're giving 100 to that kid, as their independence grows, okay, then it's 90% that kid, and then 10%. Like it feels like there should be,
Yeah. Mhm.
there should be a balance. I think that is what a lot of people are missing, right? So if you are ready to, first of all, if you're ready to jump on Brit for saying that we make sure we have this time, fuck you on behalf of Brit. I will fight you because V is not here to fight you, so I will fight you. Right? But I think that's healthy. I
Yeah.
think more people should make sure that they have that time, especially
Mhm.
when you have a lot of stuff
Mhm.
going on,
Yeah.
because that is, I think, normal. Like we have a
Mhm.
wind down routine where it's like we do a crossword together. We'll see things on TikTok, like,
Mhm.
and that is time that it is us, right? Like, and again,
Mhm.
we don't have the additional layer of like a kid, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think it's good to make sure that that time is there. And if it grows to two,
Yeah.
3 hours, cool.
Yeah. Like it's just that, from 7 to 8, like we sit on the couch and it doesn't matter if we're just doom scrolling next to each other. It's just that we're not, because we used to have like things together. We used to have desks that were next to each other.
Hmm.
But I realized that when he's on phone calls, I can't stream and vice versa. And it just made it complicated. So we have to have different offices. But it does mean that I can't just look over and be like, hey, like, pat
Right.
him on the shoulder anymore. So that scheduling is important. And it's not necessarily like I scheduled it. It's just kind of
Hmm.
fallen into the norm
Yeah. It's your
that
routine.
yeah. Because we both like to go and do our own thing after a certain time because you've both either worked all day or you've both done your thing all day and you're just like,
Hmm.
I need my own time.
Yeah.
So, um, but if in that hour, like if we have plans, like because we both like will make plans to go hang out with friends at virtually,
Hmm.
not leaving the house. Like 8:15, we're meeting up and we're doing this, blah blah blah. We have like that hour, so I don't want to watch a whole show in an hour,
Hmm.
and I feel like we've gotten away from that half an hour.
Yes.
A lot of things has gotten because they're trying to fit everything in that
Hmm.
50 something minute runtime.
Hmm.
So I just they should just make movies and stuff the way we want them to. Not the way they want to, way we want them to. Restaurants too.
Give me my video game restaurant. Give me. I mean, and again, I
I
think
want
that's there. I think it's balance. It's time and place, right? It's like, because again, I think yes, there is a time for the stupid, mindless, dumb second monitor movie, and then there's times where I'm
Mhm,
like, not that I want to be fully challenged, right? But I want
mhm,
to be fully absorbed by something, right?
mhm,
And I think that's the thing. It's like and not that every audience member wants to be absorbed by something, right?
mhm,
But if I'm spending money to go to the movie theaters and it's like $15 to sit and watch a movie, I want that movie to fully absorb me. Like I want to not have my mind drifting off, right? And I feel like that is maybe normal-ish for, for me, and I think maybe for a lot of gamers, because that's also why I think we gravitate towards games, right? Because you want to be absorbed by a game, right? You want to have that session
mhm,
where it's like this game is taking my attention, right? And I can just
mhm,
vibe out to this game and enjoy it. And it's not, I wouldn't spend 60, 70, $80 on a game that's second monitor gaming content, right? So why should I also do the same thing
mhm.
for a movie, right? If I'm going to
100%.
spend that if I'm going to spend that money on a video game, I want it to absorb me. If I'm going to
Oh, yeah.
spend the gas, get the food, go to a movie, like
Mhm.
take me in, right? And
I don't want subpar.
right, I don't want subpar.
Mhm.
I'm busy. My time is precious. I do not want subpar.
Do you think that's why some movies nowadays skip the theater,
Hmm.
or like they're at the theater, but they're also like, "Oh, we're gonna skip right to streaming for people."
Yep, 100%.
If they're not like, "It's not where I want it to be."
I think 110%. It is, you know, And that's not to say that we haven't had these for years. We have, right? Looking at you,
Mhm,
Hallmark movies. Hallmark movies would never do well in a theater except for maybe one or two of
mhm,
them, right? They might be great second monitor as you're cleaning your house, as like, whatever. So I think we've always had that, right? And
mhm.
and the gaming space has that too, right? Like I'm not going to pretend the gaming space doesn't have that, right? That's what idle games are, right? Idle games are sort of your
And I
second,
play
you know,
I play a lot of them. Apparently, I reviewed one, and a developer liked my review on said idle game and reached out for me specifically to review their
next
idle
idle game.
game. Yes, and I was like, "Oh." And so apparently I un like, not by choice, became the
Idle
idle
game royalty.
yeah,
No, but
cozy, idle. I guess they go hand in hand.
I mean, sometimes, but and that's why I say like there's a space for it, right? And
Mhm.
like so we have, I guess idle games would sort of be that like second monitor,
Yeah.
the equivalent of it if we have to, really think about it. And again, that can be fine depending on what you're doing and what you're looking for, right? But also, you're not going to find an idle game that's going to cost you what a fucking GTA or something is going to cost you.
Uh-huh, or a brand new Nintendo game.
Yeah, right? So
Mm-mm.
it's like, yeah, you might be okay with, the idle game being second monitor. That's sure. Like, I don't play a ton of them, but okay, cool. Like, that can be
Mhm.
second monitor. Um, but I really want something that, if I'm really investing, if I'm investing my time, right? I think that's the
Mm.
key. If I'm investing my time, it needs to be good. It needs to absorb me. It needs to
Yeah.
be like take my brain for the next 2-3
Mhm.
hours or whatever. That's what I want.
Yeah. Mhm. 100%.
Maybe
And
that's why I'm so into JRPGs. It's like 70 hours of just like flow
reading.
state.
Yeah. And that I feel like that's me with, like, a monotonous game. Like, a monotonous game. Like, a game that kinda
Mhm.
does the same thing, adds a little bit more type of kind of like a simulator,
Yeah.
or I guess something like that. Um, those are the games that capture me
Hmm.
because I don't play a lot of like, heavy involvement games,
Hmm.
unless DBD is, like, the exception, but, like
But see, those are short matches, right? So they
yeah,
kind of fit with that,
sometimes, yeah.
like sometimes, but they fit, they follow your same, like, I want my TV shows to be like 25 minutes, right?
Mhm,
And then if I want to do another one, right, I can do another one. DBD matches are, here's a match, and if you want to do another one, you do another one, right? So
mhm,
it kind of follows that same pattern.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I I I w I feel like as a society, our brains have low capacity,
Hmm.
and and if you don't if you don't grab us, we're gone.
Well, I mean, it's been proven by much smarter people than I am, that our brains have not evolved to keep up with all the technology that we have access to,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that there's this sort of push pull of the attention span and what we gravitate towards and how we
Mhm.
like take this all in. And there could be someone much smarter than me who listens to this and dives into it deep and does a study on the parallels of gaming and movies and how we do all this and how our brains, take it and write a PhD thesis or something on it because I'm not going to do it. But
Yeah.
like I just think that we have already proven that we haven't evolved that far. So can we as and I'm using the royal we because not actually me. Can we as like creators of content, right? And I'm talking the big movie people, think about how then we are sending that out to captivate people early on, or if the goal, because the goal for everything is not going to be necessarily to captivate people, but if it is, if the goal is just to entertain people, smaller chunks if you need to or whatever. But if the goal is to captivate, really thinking about like, I have to do this in the first 10 minutes. I have to give the hook. I have to, and it's the same. I'm thinking about like the hook and stuff like that. That's like something that they teach you early on in journalism too. Like you put the hook early on to keep the person reading because you will lose them, right? And that is like one of the things in journalism. And that has been for a long time. We almost need to consider using some of that same thinking when it comes to movies and TV shows. Hook early on and then keep them. It's like, it's also like marketing and selling like 101, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget this, and this is so relevant to so many things. When I worked at Applebee's, they called it like GPS to us, right? They were like, and I'll never forget it. And I hate that I'll never forget this from working at Applebee's, right? It was like GPS, grab the guest attention, paint the picture, set the sail, right? And that is what you have to do with media and content as well. Grab them, paint whatever story you're trying to tell, and then sell it.
Yep.
Right? If you can't do that early and quick, you lose them.
Yeah.
God, fucking Applebee's actually taught me so much about life.
Fucking Applebee's.
The school of life. No, it's just it's interesting. I don't know. I'm curious to see where media goes, and I know V and I have talked about like post media literacy and stuff on this podcast before too, and how it's evolved and how it's changed. But I don't know. I just want smart content sometimes. I think the only thing that maybe doesn't have to grab me in the same way very quickly is anime, because it's so pretty that the art, it's, well, not all of it is pretty, but usually the art itself will grab me. That is the one thing that I cannot watch second monitor. It will always lure me in.
I feel like that's me and stand-up comedy. I recently became interested in stand-up comedy because I feel like it goes hand in hand with like actual play type of like D&D stuff. We found Dropout, and now we're obsessed. And that's kind of become like the thing we watch. And I feel like there's nothing special about it. They're just making things up on the fly. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what they do. I still think it's freaking funny. So, you know.
Fair. Totally fair. So when do we get the Brit stand-up comedy special on Girl Pod?
Never. I'm a partaker, I'm an enjoyer, not a partaker, I guess. I don't know. I enjoy
consumer, not
the
a creator.
Content. Yes, that's it. That's where we are. Brain fuzz.
It's fine. It's fine. It's still the healing post whatever it is that took your voice away from us.
Who knows what the hell was? Who knows what that was?
It happens. It happens, you know? Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna shut up about media. I just hope that, you know, I know we started with like the fatigue of superhero stuff. I hope that we get some good stuff in the coming year or two, because I think even like superhero video games that will come out, I know like Wolverine, I don't know if that's supposed to come out this year or early next year, who knows. But even some of those sorts of things, I think if they don't capitalize quick and people continue to feel some of this fatigue, it's not going to do well. And it's not going to be any fault of their own, right? It's just, again, the type of content that we're getting and how we're getting it. And holding the attention when you announced it so long ago, or what feels like so long ago, and it's still not out. Then again, freaking Elder Scrolls announced their next one, and I'm still waiting. And they just keep re-releasing Skyrim over and over.
I played through Skyrim as a challenge. I think it was last year. And it was the most frustrating game, but I loved it.
It's good. That's why I want the next Elder Scrolls. And they announced it like 10
Yeah.
years ago. And I'm like, come on. Or I mean, it wasn't 10 years ago, but they announced it quite a few years
It's like
ago.
it's the GTA of the Skyrim world.
Yeah, but like Elder Scrolls is actually good. I know someone's gonna
It's
come
true.
for me for saying that, but someone's gonna come at me for saying that. I'll be like, yeah, I
I
said
mean,
what I
it's
said.
2020. It's 2026. We're getting another Toy Story. We're getting another Toy Story.
I'm not happy about it.
We started making those in the 90s, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We're getting another Minions movie.
I haven't seen most of them, so I can't really
I
weigh in on that
I,
one.
I have not even watched a full Despicable Me, so it's where they spawned from. We're getting a live action Moana,
Yeah.
and we're getting that Spider-Man movie, but we're also getting Spider Noir with Nicolas
That
Cage.
might already be out actually on Prime. Or it comes out very soon. Which is like a spin-off from the Into the Spider-Verse movies, which are honestly fantastic. I think they're fantastic. The animation is amazing. Well worth the wait, I think, for the next one, although it sucks that the second one sort of ended on a cliffhanger and you have to wait for the third one. Really amazing animation, really cool takes with some of the other Spider-Man characters. But again, some of that also dealt with who Miles Morales is and his family, his upbringing, right? So there's also that bit. It's not just like Spider-Man go take care of bad guy, right? Spoiler if you haven't seen the first one, bad guy is family. So how do you deal when someone that you to some extent really look up to is also the villain, right? So this conflict that is more than just here's the bad guy. Very interesting dynamic that they play with and tell. So, but again, also the art, fantastic. Even if you don't care about the story, the art is so cool and it's so many different art styles that they've brought in, and the way that they've done it so seamlessly it's a delight for the eyes. I think anybody who is into any sort of like graphic design or art in that sort of a way will be able to see like all the nuances and the different styles. And they brought in like an insane amount of artists to work on, I know, at least the first one. So, to see how it all comes together and the layering of things just from an aesthetic point of view, even if you don't care about the story and superheroes, visually amazing film. Amazing. So I'm excited for that next one. Not excited for another Toy Story. It makes me angry.
Toy Story like 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's just, we're done.
I was on the fence about Toy Story 4, and then I enjoyed Toy Story 4. But then it felt like, I felt like Toy Story 3 felt like an ending, and then they brought us Toy Story 4. And I was like, okay, Toy Story 4 really feels like an ending because now you've separated the characters, right? And I was like, why are we having another one? Like, what are we doing?
I think the last one I saw in theaters was Toy Story 3.
Okay.
Was it 3? Yeah. I saw 3 in theaters. And I was like, oh, this is it. We're done. Bye. We're done. And then 2 more came out. The first one came out in what year? 95. 95. This is a 21-year-old franchise. We're still making movies.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just unreal when you think about some of these. I don't know. I also want new content. So I understand that I started this by saying I'm ready for Elder Scrolls 6. Um, but I would just like it to come out already so I can see if it's good, considering you announced it in 2018 and it is now 2026 and I am still waiting on Elder Scrolls 6. I mean, I know the whole thing was they're like, we're going to finish Starfall or Starfield or whatever the fuck it's called, and then we'll go back and revisit this. Well, okay, you're done, and guess what? I don't know that many people that cared about that game. So can we get a move on with Elder Scrolls? Let's go. Like, you had to pair Starfield with people getting like new capture cards and RAM and stuff like that when people were buying PC parts in order to get these copies moving. Nobody cares. Give me Elder Scrolls. I have a lot of feels.
I think I've only played. So I played Elden Ring like a long time ago. Not Elden Ring. Elder Scrolls. Long time ago. Just the basic. And the most recent time I played it, my mods chose random mods to put in there.
Yeah, you've mentioned this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skyrim is great
So
for modification. It's also great for the jank.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I'm ready for some new franchises. I know I talked about this game last episode. But I think that is also why Pragmata has been really refreshing for me. It's a new franchise from Capcom. You know, obviously there's the father-daughter relationship aspect, which is really cool. But it is, and you know, it is also something that took them a very long time to put out, to the point where they made fun of themselves for how long it took to come out, where they're like, no, we promise it's real, right? Like, fine, whatever. But I want more new stuff, right? I want more new franchises, be it movies, TV, video game. I want new exciting ideas, right? And I know a lot of that ends up coming from, you know, indie games, AA studios, but we also know that it's really difficult. It's a really difficult time to be an indie studio, a AA studio, and studios are shutting down left and right. So, you know, I want them to take the chances, which means, hey, consumers, you need to also support when they take the chances, or else we're going to get the same shit over and over. And yes, Leon Kennedy looked great in Requiem, absolutely. But also, I'm glad Capcom then turned around and said, here's finally a new IP in the same year. I mean, Capcom's having a banger year, I think, but like, I want more new stuff. I want like to not be just recycling the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
Like, let's get it. Let's get some new ideas. Let's get some new stories. You're gonna have the same tropes, and I understand that. But if you can bring something a little bit different, I'm here for it. I'm ready to try it.
That's why personally. So we know that I'm obsessed with Sims. And there really hasn't, other than a few DLCs, like, really it never changes. Like, really, like, there's been nothing really truly exciting coming out with Sims or anything like that. Like,
yeah.
But at the end of the month, we're getting a new game that I've been following for a very long time, called Paralives. It's been on my wish list since 2021.
And you're still waiting.
Finally comes out in early access at the end of the month. So I'm hoping that it just gives me something other than what Sims has given.
That's fair. Again, something new and fresh.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
No, it shouldn't be too much to ask.
You want my $40 to $70, $80? Give me something good.
Yeah. I don't know how much Paralives is coming out at, but yeah. Doesn't say yet. But we have also got Coffee Talk Tokyo coming out. Which I loved the first two Coffee Talks.
Yeah, because I know they delayed it, so a couple weeks. Outbound is next
the 11th.
Week?
The 11th. Next Monday. I've been waiting for that one. Um, House Flipper, the original, is getting a remastered collection.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So what I'm hearing is that in May you're eating good.
in May, I'm eating good. Yeah. Especially after just kind of like this lull of anything that I've been interested in at all.
That's fair.
So
May is gonna be Brit's month. So now every episode that Brit is on, we're gonna have to see, do these games live up to the hype?
does my pocketbook allow me to buy them all? Is really the question.
That is also, that is a fair component of it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Because we've got the ones that are on my wish list and I've been waiting for is Outbound, Thrifty Business, which is one where you get to pretend that you're in a thrift store. The DLC for House Flipper 2. Coffee Talk Tokyo. We've got Bistro, which I did the preview for.
The preview. Mm-hmm.
We've got Paralives. And the other one I'm really excited about is called Birdwatching Notebook. And it's supposed to come out in May. It is where basically you just walk around and you birdwatch. It's like an idly game, but like you sit on your balcony and you wait for birds to show up. And I feel like I'm really excited for it because it's something that my daughter and I are doing currently in real life.
Okay.
On our bus walks, on our walks to the bus. There's this really cool app through, what school is it? For Cornell. It's called Merlin Bird App, and it's completely free. You download it, and if you hear like a bird call, you just press record, and it will find which
bird it is.
What bird it is, and it will tell you information about it. Or if you put your location in, it will tell you birds that could be seen in your area right now, and just really cool things. And you can start a journal, and my daughter and I have started this journal this morning on our way to the bus, despite being severely late. A cardinal, which she's really into cardinals right now, and robins, and she calls the robins big boys. Look at it. Mama, look at that big boy. So I feel like that I'm really excited for that game, just for the experience with my child alone. So
I almost feel like we need to pin your Steam account and be like, help Brit get all these games so that she can talk about them on the podcast.
There's just a never-ending list of games, some that aren't supposed to come out until 2027, I guess.
That's fair.
And despite me really sticking to that cozy genre, we've got things like Halloween in there. We've got another one called Shutter Story, which is using an old camera, and then you've got to take pictures of anomalies and weird stuff like that, and then you'll find it's basically a psychological horror. Yeah. So
this is the year you said you would branch out.
Yeah, and I have been. I've been playing through what is it? What's that game? Split Fiction. I've been playing Split Fiction with my best friend. We're very close to the end of the game. It has really tested my patience in a lot of ways. In the sense of platforming and things like that. I did play some what is it? My Card is Better Than Your Card, which is that card building game. Bistro, which comes out this month, is a card building game.
But we haven't gotten you on Slay the Spire 2 yet.
No. Give me some time. Give me some time. What else have I played that's very out of...
You played Overwatch with us?
I did play Overwatch. I played The Isle. I don't know if you've ever played The Isle before, where you get to be a dinosaur.
How have you not talked to V about this?
I don't know, but I was hoping that her and I could talk about it soon.
I feel
Called
like
The
you have
Isle.
to.
And you get to be a dinosaur running around, and you have to find food and water, and it's just kind of like just this funny game.
Oh my god, I feel like next episode next episode that we're all on, I'm just gonna be like, so Britt, tell us more about that game, The Isle, and then I'm just gonna like lay back and mute my mic and just
Uh,
hang.
yeah. It was an early access game, but it was 4 years ago when it started early access, so I don't really think it's getting many updates.
That's fair. It might not be too many
So,
updates at this point.
yeah. But there's still people active, and there's communities and things like that, so I think it would just be a funny game to just do for fun and giggles.
It's fair. I think I think that, you know, we should have more games sometimes that are just for fun and giggles. And I think anybody
Mhm.
listening should tell us what other games they think we should
Mhm.
branch out and try, and what's funny and
Mhm.
what's giggly, and
Yes.
you know.
What's the game that's gonna keep our attention?
Yeah. Absolutely. What's the game that's going to keep our attention? Because, you know, I got a copy from a very strong supporter of Man of Medan, which I normally don't do like horror s games. Uh, I don't know if he wants his name said out loud, but so thank you. You know who you are, and that put me on the path of playing every single dark anthology game that was out. Which means now when Directive 8020 comes out, I'm also going to play that one, right? So you
Okay.
never know when or what is going to make you branch out. So if you're listening to this and you've made it this far, thanks for joining us, and let us know what else we should try and branch out with. And then don't forget to check out the weekly news podcast and find our articles over on gamersocialclub.ca. And of course, if you need more gamers to chat with, you can join us in the Discord, because the link is in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your gamer friends, leave a comment on something that we did. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please feel free to add that 5-star review. Those really help. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Girl Pod. Bye, everybody.